Welcome back, guys, to Phoenix Wright, Trials and Tribulations, where the dead take the stand as Dahlia Hawthorne stands in front of us, unable to be punished. What are we going to get out of this testimony? We do not know, but we will find out. Some motive, maybe. Why did she help out? She's dead. She doesn't seem to care. Why did Dahlia do this? So then tell me, why?
Isn't it obvious? I'm not like that woman. I only act in my own self-interest. The reason I helped her was for myself. For my own personal satisfaction.
What did you say? So this woman, Dahlia Hawthorne, she had her own reason for wanting Maya dead?
Do you understand why I would kill Maya Fey now? What my goal was?
Well, yeah. I mean, if you've played this game, you know what it is. We'll press this statement, but I know what it is. Because it's the simplest motive of all. It's revenge, not how Phoenix is saying here. Obviously, it's because you were helping Morgan Fey.
Helping? Don't make me laugh. From the day I was born to the day I died, I never helped anyone. I lived for myself, and in the end, I died for myself. I thought that was obvious.
So she wasn't actually cooperating with Morgan. She was just using Morgan and her plans so she could accomplish her own goal.
All I wanted to do was kill Maya Fey. And that was the only way I could think of to get revenge.
There we go. Revenge? It looks like I have no choice but to present that piece of evidence. I can't believe it. She meant to kill Maya. I've got to keep a cool head. And I need to get more information out of her. It's the only way to understand this plan and what she was after as well. So literally it's going to be to that statement. It's about the revenge. Present that piece of evidence. Well, I'd have thought it'd be more about a person, wouldn't it? I wish it told me the penalty marker for this. But it basically is revenge against Mia, who took her down several times.
Objection!
Could it be that your actual goal had nothing to do with Maya Fey herself?
As I said, none of you had the power to punish me anymore, because I'm already dead. Well, I had the same problem, you see. You can't punish the dead, and you can't take revenge against them either.
You wanted to take revenge on someone?
I was sentenced to die because of that woman, Mia Fey.
I somehow knew this was it.
I wanted to send her a message. It was at her hands that I suffered my first humiliation. I wanted to feel the same pain she made me feel. Sadly, when I realized revenge was impossible, I gave up.
And the reason it was impossible? Was it perhaps because Mia Fey had already died?
Yes, and I realized there's only one way to take revenge against the dead.
And how do you do that?
Even when the body dies, the spirit, the ego, it lives on. Forever. I wanted to take away the person that Mia Fey loved most. I wanted to kill her with my own hands. That would be the one and the only way I could take my revenge against Mia Fey. That was the reason I helped out with that woman's plans.
Just for that? For that you would kill Maya? Your goal was no different than that of Morgan Fey. As they say, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. What a cruel plan. Cruel, cold and heartless.
Don't waste your time preaching to the dead. I've already told you, there's not a thing you can do to me. That night, at about 9:30 PM, I materialized into this world. I quickly pinned my hair up and put on a demon warding hood. Then I picked up the staff that was by my side and left Hazakura Temple.
So it was Elise Donim who channeled her after all.
That ridiculous head nun never noticed a thing. She left Maya Fey at the inner temple and wobbled back clutching her poor old back.
Oh, what did you do then?
That kid was easier to handle than I had hoped. I caught up with her in front of the stone lantern. Then I took out the dagger I got from the storeroom and...
So then you're saying you stabbed Maya?
It's strange, but I don't have a clear memory of what happened after that.
What does that mean? No clear memory.
I don't know. I think I was stabbed.
You were stabbed?
At the last minute. Mayor Faye must have stabbed me. I'm sure of it.
Objection!
That's not like her at all. Maya wouldn't stab a french fry with a plastic fork.
Anyway, I suddenly lost consciousness. But before I did, I scrawled her name on the lantern. Just as I was passing out, I wrote Maya behind my back. I'd hoped it would cast suspicion on her.
I can't believe she was thinking of that until the bitter end.
That's where my memory temporarily stops.
It stops?
I don't have any memory of actually killing Mayor Faye with my own 2 hands. My very last memory was Maya's terror-filled eyes. When I woke up after that, I was in the sacred cabin, surrounded by darkness.
You were in the sacred cabin?
The entrance was sealed with one of those trick locks. Somehow I'd been trapped in there.
But how did you wind up in there?
I'd like to know that myself. Anyway, I was worried. I didn't know whether or not Mayor Faye was dead. And I swore I wouldn't return to the underworld until I knew I'd killed her myself.
For a ghost, you're one tough cookie.
I wanted to get out there and make sure she was dead. But I couldn't do it. I couldn't get out.
The trick lock stops you, huh?
I didn't know how to remove it.
So then you're saying you were actually confined against your will inside this sacred cabin?
Yes, I wanted to get rid of that annoying lock as soon as possible. But it wasn't easy. I kept getting interrupted while I was working on it.
Interrupted?
It was early in the morning. Someone came into the training hall.
What? Who? Could it have been Maya? No, it's Iris or Pearl?
I thought the same thing, but I couldn't see.
Why not?
If someone had spotted me, I would have lost my chance to take revenge. So I made sure to hide myself well at the back of the sacred cabin.
That morning, only 2 people who could have gone into the training hall. Maya and Pearls. But I think, you know, Maya, if she got stabbed, she wouldn't. But I'm pretty much on the right lines here in terms of where I think this is going. Which is good for my health bar. Pearls went there to cover the hang and scroll engraving.
Still, I finally managed to remove the lock. But I was too late.
What do you mean by that?
The flies had already started to gather.
The bridge had been fixed and the police had started their investigation, correct?
Naturally, I couldn't go out. So instead, I returned to the cabin and put the lock back on myself. I realised I wouldn't get a chance to see Maya's corpse as I'd hoped. But just then, Lady Luck showed up.
Lady Luck?
After that big earthquake, she showed up, all by herself.
The real Iris?
She said she'd come to make sure the sacred cabin was alright. Stupid girl. I came out from the sacred cabin and got a feel for the situation. And I locked her away in my place.
So she's in there now?
I'd finally learned exactly what had happened. It was then that I learned that the plan had actually succeeded.
What do you mean your plan succeeded?
I misunderstood one thing, you see. That night, the one that had summoned me, I'd assumed that it was Pearl Faye.
Well, of course you would have assumed that. It was written in the instructions.
But I was wrong. The person that had actually called my spirit back was Misty Faye, the picture book author.
What?
Well, that's really the only possibility, isn't it? After I lost consciousness in the garden. It was her body that was left lying there.
Yep, I know where this is going.
Mayor Faye, I wasn't able to kill her with my own hands after all. But even so, I made her commit the most vile sin a human can commit.
And that is...
Matricide. The sin of killing her own mother.
No way! Order in the court. What is the meaning of this?
It's true that I was the one who attacked Mayor Faye. But even so, the murderer who actually snuffed out Misty Faye's life was none other than your darling little Mayor.
That's not murder. That is at the very most self-defense, you know. That's in self-defense. You can get off on that. Ridiculous! That's nonsense! She had to defend herself, so no matter what, she's not going in jail or anything. She wouldn't be charged with murder.
Are you sure about that? Just think about it. There's even evidence supporting these facts, isn't there?
What? What do you mean? What is this so-called evidence?
The fact that Mayor Faye had disappeared is evidence enough, isn't it?
Huh?
The idea that she's still in the sacred cavern is just ridiculous. She wasn't able to escape from the inner temple.
That much is obvious.
In that case, there is only one place she could be.
Where?
Do I have to spell it out? The bottom of the Eagle River. Where else?
See, the stupid thing is here, if we're counting out Pearl, who doesn't have the power to, Elise Donim, Misty Faye, who's dead, Iris, who doesn't have an inkling of spiritual power and we know is stuck in the other thing, what other channelers do we know exist that can be channeling Dahlia Hawthorne at this point in time? Not to try and spoil things for people who haven't figured it out, but at this point it's making it stupidly blatantly obvious. Maya isn't there. Maya isn't dead. Maya is standing right there in the screen right now. Eagle River.
Mayor Faye killed her long-lost mother. Can you imagine the guilt she must have felt when she realised that? That's why she threw herself into the Eagle River. Most bodies that wind up in there are lost forever.
Unless there's a secret channeler.
So, what do you have to say now, Feeny?
Oops. Sorry, that's my phone. What kind of ringtone is that? A very memorable one. Godot here. Okay. Thanks. What? It's something important? They just finished removing the locks from the sacred cavern. That's great! What about Maya? There was a woman in the cave. Was it Maya Faye? It was the accused, Sister Iris. Huh? See, that pretty much makes it definite. So she didn't lie about not being able to channel, she's over there.
Don't look so surprised. I locked her in there yesterday. I just finished telling you that.
So, what about Maya? Where is she? There was no one else found inside the sacred cavern. No, it can't be.
I told you, didn't I? She's dead.
No. No! Why are you screaming, Phoenix? Look in front of your own eyes. For goodness sakes. Take a while, think about it. Logic dictates. Logic dictates. It seems that his case has come to an end. A tragic end. Sadly, it appears the killer of Elise Donim, also known as Misty Faye, was her own daughter, Maya Faye, but wouldn't make her a murderer or a killer, really. Yes, she might have killed someone, but still. Overcome with guilt for what she had done, Maya Faye jumped to her death into the raging waters of the Eagle River. Wait a second. Well, that's a lie. Because that's been a point in case before. Of course that's going to trigger it, my mind. It can't be. It's Godot? Trite. Have you ever heard this one? Once you eliminate the impossible, whatever remains must be the truth.
Well, what? No, you forgot the however improbable. You forgot the rest of the quote. Let's put it that way.
No matter how improbable it may seem.
Oh, okay, never mind. You got there.
Well, what is that supposed to mean, Prosecutor Godot? According to this witness, Maya Fey threw herself into the Eagle River. However, is that really the truth? Remember, this woman testified earlier that the bridge was already on fire when the murder was taking place in the garden, which means if Maya had thrown herself into the river, it must have been from the inner temple side, near the bridge.
That's right. That's where she jumped from.
But that's impossible. It's impossible to jump into the river from there. What? Don't get your panties all twisted up, trite. Just relax and think through the whole thing again.
Yes, please. So it's impossible? Maya couldn't have thrown herself into Eagle River? Not without leaving a splattery bit on the ground.
Well, Mr. Wright, Miss Hawthorne claims Miss Fey threw herself into the river from the inner temple side. Do you have any evidence that refutes this claim?
The map that I just looked at, like instantly going, wait a second, I remember the details of stuff here. It's impossible to jump into the Eagle River from the inner temple side. No one knows that better than this witness. What did you say?
11 years ago, you jumped into the very same river.
Just take a look at this overhead map. Remember this? As you can see, below the cliff on the inner temple side is a big rock shelf.
Oh, you're right.
She wouldn't have reached the river if she had jumped off from there.
In other words, if she had jumped, we should be able to see her body in this photo.
Ah!
Ha! So you finally figured it out.
No, I had for a while. No! Take that, as they say in the colloquial.
Order!
You're just playing with me. Maya Fey's body is at the bottom of the Eagle River. There's nowhere else she could possibly be hiding.
Miss Hawthorne, have you ever heard this one before? Once you eliminate the impossible, whatever remains must be the truth. Improbable.
Yes, just a few minutes ago.
Maya Fey wasn't inside the sacred cavern. We now know that she didn't throw herself into the Eagle River. Correct. That eliminates all the most likely possibilities. Now, although it seems improbable, there's still one other place she could be. What? What is this one possibility you were talking about?
Like, right here, right now. That's obviously a bluff. So where's her dead body then?
It's not dead! Finally, I think the pieces are falling into place. Normally the living have no way to punish the dead. But I think there is a way to give Dahlia Hawthorne the ultimate punishment by telling her that she straight failed. Shall I tell you, Miss Hawthorne? Shall I tell you where Maya is this very instant? Maya Fey is, at the risk of instant death, in the courtroom. In this very courtroom. There's only one possibility left. Namely, she's right here, in this very courtroom.
What?
Maya Fey's here. You say she's here in my courtroom? Dahlia Hawthorne. I seem to recall that you said. I misunderstood one thing, you see.
So what?
But I think there's one more thing you misunderstood.
What do you mean?
Tell me something. At this very moment, who is channeling Dahlia Hawthorne? Finally, Phoenix gets round to the right train of thought at the right time. Even though I've been there for a little bit now, and I'm sure you guys have been there for a long time now. We're gonna bust Dahlia down and send her back to wherever she goes, screaming. Join us next time for more Trials and Tribulations. I'll see you then. Bye-bye.